Hello and welcome to episode 65 of Dear Download, a podcast about Download Festival, music in the industry, and all other aspects related to rock and heavy metal. This episode, we are talking all about Fall Out Boy. We're going to have a deep dive about Fall Out Boy, who are headlining the Saturday at Download 2024. I'm Adam, and as always, I'm here with Simon. How you doing, my man?
Good day to you, sir. Let's talk FOB.
Fob. Yes, I noticed that.
Let's talk about FOB. Because last week we were talking about Queens of the Stone Age. It's FOB.
Quatza and Fob.
Quatza and FOB.
What's next episode?
Avenged Sevenfold ruin it.
Yeah.
Really
ruin it.
Boring.
We had that before. Who was it? Anyway, Stu. I'll think about that. Also joined by Stu. How are you doing, my man, as well? Oh, that was shit.
I'm
Hang
also
on.
here. Hello.
Sorry, I want to do that again.
My man? What? Yo, bro.
I know.
What's up, my man? Where are you from?
Man.
The streets or something? What's going on, man? What's up, my man? How you doing, bro? Yeah, you're from the 90s as well. What the fuck?
Well, I say my man to you. Have you never noticed that?
I don't think I've heard you say my man.
A good man.
But yeah, I was just like, I can't call both of you my man. That just sounds weird. I got to change it up a little bit. Anyway, Stu,
My boy.
I might just leave that bit in. Stu, how you doing, man? Oh no, I said it again. Stu, how you doing, buddy? Man.
I'm doing very well, buddy man.
Good.
Fellow chap. Okay.
Couldn't have just called you man. Could have called me Dennis. I didn't know you were called Dennis. Fall Out Boy, what an episode. I've been looking forward to doing this episode. I hadn't listened to much of them before listening to them for this episode, but I have been really enjoying them the last couple of days. What about you guys?
Yeah, I was convinced that I liked maybe like 3 Fall Out Boy songs that you've listened to like on Kerrang TV, radio over the years, whatever. But after listening to the newer albums, I would now consider myself a Fall Out Boy fan. So
Yeah.
I will be there, front and centre, living life.
Converted. Wow, proper.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, I mean, they're a really good band. They're a really, really good band. I'm excited to talk about them. I haven't become a super fan. Sorry to break the thing that's happened, but I do think they're a really good band. They're just not my cup of tea. But yeah, I'm interested to talk about them because they have a very interesting history and musically in areas they are quite interesting as well. So
yeah, awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Well, before we go into that, shall we talk a little bit about our last couple of weeks? How has your last couple of weeks been, Simon?
Yeah, good. Really, nothing's happened. Nothing of note has really happened at the moment. It's so just monotonous beginning of the year. Looking forward to what we always say, festival season, gigs kicking off, all that stuff. So yeah, and we're doing much. Been working a little bit on YouTube. The my Monsters of Rock Part 2 video should be out by the time that this is out as well. But apart from that, I've really been doing nothing. I literally working on some videos. I've been watching a lot of Curb Your Enthusiasm, playing a bit of Skyrim.
Nice.
I don't know. That's it. That is literally all I've been doing. I haven't
Nice.
done anything else. That's
Cool.
it.
Stu?
Very much the same. Start of the year, not a lot going on. Got a gig coming up. Actually booked up tickets to see Knocked Loose in Birmingham. So that's
Nice.
1.5 weeks' time, maybe. So a
Nice.
couple of the guys are going there as well.
Great
Other
live
than
band.
that-
What a band.
Oh, yeah.
What a band.
Exactly.
They really blew
Well,
me
I was-
away at Bloodstock, dude. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
they were nuts.
Just something else completely. Well, they've actually put the full set of Bloodstock on YouTube now, so anyone interested,
they?
if you go over to
we'll
the
have to watch
Bloodstock
that.
YouTube, it's got the full set. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh, nice.
you were right in the pit for it, weren't you? Was it for
Mhm.
a lot of it? Or
Yeah,
just,
you'll see me on the video quite a few times. Yeah.
yeah.
Just look out for the Blair t-shirt, the white Blair
The
t-shirt.
Blair
you'll see me.
t-shirt. Probably couldn't have been many other I accidentally
No.
said blah then anyway, but I was going to say white. Could be many other white T-shirts at Bloodstock in general
No.
anyway.
Or let's just
I think
say
I was maybe
he
the
went
one.
in with a white T-shirt. He didn't come out
Mhm.
with a white T-shirt.
Came out brown and red.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, that's in your vlog, isn't it? Which I'd seen already. But it'd be interesting to
yeah,
see if we can see you in the Bloodstocks video as well.
That's it, yeah. Well, I've done a TikTok where actually you could zoom in on myself and you can see yourself. So
Yeah.
that's another one to mention. I've been doing TikToks and Instagram Reels, and that's been keeping me busy, I suppose. So
Cool.
yeah, that's all good.
Excellent. I'm pretty much the same. I haven't done a lot. I had a couple of weeks off of work due to some back problems, but I couldn't really do a lot. You know, it would be nice to look back and go, "Oh, I got so much done while I was off of work for 2 weeks." But I was off work sick and genuinely sick, so I couldn't get much done. You know, I would have been nice to work on my own YouTube as well a little bit, but never mind.
Yeah.
I have worked a little bit on my son's YouTube. He hasn't got a YouTube, but he said to me a couple of days ago, like, "Dad, I want to be a YouTuber." So today I was like, "Well, do you want to record a YouTube video?" And he was really excited. He went, "Yeah. Wait, it doesn't have to be about download, does it?" Because he knows I do this.
Was the answer yes?
Yeah, I was
No.
gonna say,
No,
yeah,
it's-
he definitely is. Yeah.
No, he wants to be a gamer YouTuber. But yeah, it was quite funny because I wind him up quite a bit, and I tell him that I'm a YouTuber because we obviously put this on YouTube. It's normally just the static screen with the cover of the episode, but I might be putting this one on YouTube, and you can see our faces. But yeah, I wind him up and I say, I'm a TikToker as well. To see this TikTok videos I put up, and he's like, "How many views have you got?" 3. But that's not the point. I'm a TikToker, all right? I'm a cool YouTuber dad. And it's
Full-time
just
influencer. Exactly
winds him up. It's like, no, you're not. Okay, well, let's get started and stuck into FOB, as you very well put it earlier. Before we talk about anything they've done or a deep dive into them, tell me, I'll start with you, Simon. Would you ever have imagined them being a headliner this year for Download?
No, I didn't expect. I think it's the same thing that we had with Queens of the Stone Age, what we said last week. I didn't expect them to be announced as a headliner. If someone said, "Could Fall Out Boy headline Download?" I probably would have said, "Well, yeah, there's no reason they couldn't." But same as Queens, some of this was just like so left field from what we were expecting. It was a bit of a shock to be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, Fall Out Boy." It's not. I wasn't like disappointed. I was just like, "Okay, all right, okay, Fall Out Boy are headlining, I guess," which is fine because they're absolutely massive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't expecting it to happen. But once I sort of got my mind wrapped around the announcement, I was like, it actually makes perfect sense.
Yeah. What about you, Stu?
Yeah, so I think after the initial shock, it's settled in a bit now, and after listening to them, watching some live stuff, I can see why they've been chosen essentially now. Upon like first realization they were there, I was thinking, why the hell are Fall Out Boy headlining? But when you look back to the last time that they played in 2014, they were subbing Linkin Park, so they've played the main stage. The natural step up
Yeah.
is to do the spot above. And again, it's on YouTube, that footage. And if you check that out, main arena is packed. It really is. And,
Yeah.
everyone's buzzing, everyone's having a great time. So I'm sure a lot of those people will be returning to see them this year. So
Yeah.
I think it's great. I'm
they
really
also,
looking forward to seeing them.
They also would 100% pass the litmus test. Could they sell 2 dates out of the O2 without a shadow of a doubt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means your headline material, so they meet that quota as well. So
That's it. The criteria.
yeah.
Do you know what? Going back to what you said a minute ago, I'm glad you said about the last time they played at Download, because that's something I forgot to go and look up It's something that would normally be the first thing I would look for and go, right, I need to know this information, but I completely forgot. So they played 2014, just under Linkin Park, did they?
That's it. So 10 years
Yeah.
ago, the run on that main stage was ridiculous. If I could just read that out.
Yeah, go
So
for
as
it.
I say, the subbed Linkin Park, but going from the start of the day on that main stage, one after another, it was Bury Tomorrow, While She Sleeps, Bowling for Soup, Kill Switch Engage, Bring Me the Horizon, Fall Out Boy, Linkin Park. And to me, that's like, I've never stayed at one stage the whole day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there this year. I can't believe we didn't go this year because it looks incredible for us. But if I was there, that would have been the one day that I just did not shift.
I
Really wish we went.
thinking about it. I
was
think
going to say,
would-
Adam, me and Stu weren't there. I really wanted to go, but my mum booked my tickets to go to America on fucking download weekend, so I couldn't go because I went 2013. So I didn't go, but I just thought in my head, of course you were definitely there. What the hell were you doing?
I was in the campsite until 6.
Oh no.
I only remember that because it was the Linkin Park day, and I chose to go and see 6 over Linkin Park. I said that a few times on the podcast before. 6 had been gone for about 7 years, and I was like, well, I haven't seen him for a long time. I might not get a chance to see him again. So I went to see them, and because it was Linkin Park and the amazing set they did, and obviously what happened, that's for some reason that's just always stuck in my mind. Yeah, I remember. I don't know if I went into the arena in the morning, but I'm pretty sure I went from the campsite straight in to go and see 6. So I might have been at the campsite all day until 6, who were headlining the 3rd or 4th stage.
Oh, you said sixth. I thought you said you didn't go in until 6.
Oh yeah, no.
Sixth.
Sorry, yeah, no.
Say
6th. The band, yeah.
Excuse the syllabus. Syllabus.
Great band,
what's
by the way.
word now? Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I didn't see any of it. I didn't see any of that on the main stage. I wouldn't have seen Fall Out Boy.
You didn't even watch 6th and then watch the rest of fucking Linkin Park.
I did. We went and watched the rest of Linkin Park.
Good.
I think.
Okay, good.
Although I think I remember once they'd finished playing Hybrid Theory in full, I think they basically didn't play any other old stuff. It was all newer stuff. I don't think they played hardly anything from Meteora, as far as I remember. I think there was a lot of people's complaints about it. Not that you can really complain about what they did.
To be fair, I think the Hunting Party, which was that album when it came out, I think it's the worst Linkin Park album.
Really,
it's not bad. They don't have a bad album, but I think out of all the albums Linkin Park done, I think Hunting Party is by far the worst. So
in comparison,
quite a margin. Yeah, so probably
even comparing to the newest album as well. So I actually hated that when it first came out, but new album after seeing it live. Unfortunately, I was at the last ever show in Birmingham, but after seeing that album live, I loved it after that. If you know what I mean. But see Hybrid Theory in full. Very jealous of anyone that was there.
I know.
Yeah.
That pains me. Do you know that? I still bring 2014 up to my mum. I was on the phone on Monday, and I were talking about Download, and I said, "Do you remember, Mum, when you booked my flights on Download weekend and I missed it?" So I still bring it up now because I'm still annoyed that I didn't
Thanks,
get
Mum.
to... You guys know how much I love Linkin Park, man.
Yeah.
I missed Hybrid Theory in full, and it still pains me to this day.
I was always gutted I missed that as well. Obviously, like I said, it wasn't at the time. I made my choices. I knew that was the choice I was making. But anyway, Fall Out Boy. So have either of you seen them before?
No,
Nope.
It'll be the first time seeing them.
First time. I'm sure I've seen them, but I don't remember what year at Download. I think I want to say they were probably 4th or 5th down on the main stage, something like that. It would have been mid-afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock, something like that.
I think 2014, only from researching, is the only time they've played Download.
I was going to say, I think they've only ever played one time.
Maybe
You
it
might
was
be
that.
getting them mixed up with someone.
Could have been Sonosphere. But I thought I'd seen them. Maybe I'm talking complete rubbish then.
It's either the Lamb of God situation.
Lamb of God scenario. Anyway, either way then. I don't know. I thought I'd seen them. I may not have. I may have. We don't know on that one. But I'm quite looking forward to seeing them. They're very interesting band. I said to you earlier, didn't I, Simon? Very interesting once you start digging, and that's what you went into earlier as well. Personally, I only knew I thought it was their first album at the time. We'll obviously talk about the albums before From Under the Cork Tree. That's the only album I've ever really listened to before listening to them for this episode. Either of you...
You really liked that album as well, didn't you? You absolutely loved that album at the time.
I did absolutely love it. And so I don't know why I didn't go back and listen to the next album. Was it Infinity on High? Was that the one?
I mean, we know why you didn't.
Because I'm the one album guy.
Because, yeah, you're the one album guy. Of course you didn't.
Yeah. But yeah, listening to it again, I was thinking, like, why didn't I listen to this? It's the same, pretty much the same music, but just sort of stepped up a little bit. I mean, there's not much room to step up from Under the Cork Tree, but yeah, I don't know why I didn't go back and listen to it. Again, what about either of you? Were you how much Fall Out Boy did you know before going into this?
Well, I was very much could count how many songs I knew on one hand fan of Fall Out Boy. It was just whatever was on Kerrang really. So like your Sugar We're Going Down, This Ain't a Scene, Dance Dance.
Yeah.
And that's
Thanks for the memories.
Early days, I'd probably say that. Thanks for the murmurs. Yeah. There you go. 4 songs, that's probably all I knew, to be honest. And then over the years I've picked up 1 or 2, but never dived into an album.
Yeah.
Not even from day one. I don't think I ever listened to an album in full. So doing this episode, the research for this episode, is the first time ever to hear some of their more, like varied songs.
Yeah.
So I hear those 4 songs, and they do have the Fall Out Boy sound. You just think that that's what the entire album sounds like, but it's not until you dive in and you realise how unique, every song is in comparison to the last one you've just listened to, if you know what I mean. And
yeah.
The further you go on in the albums, the more they kind of, what's the word? Test the waters and try different styles. And listening to the newest album, it's ridiculous how many styles they've got going on, in one pool of songs. So
nice. I didn't ask you, Simon, did I? Or have I already asked you?
No. I mean, I knew the hit. I cannot tell you between 2005 and about 2008 how fucking much these guys were played. It was almost unbearable at points. It really was. Which is probably why I never got into them at the time. But I always enjoyed what I heard. Like, whenever I heard a song like Thanks for the Memories came on, or This Ain't an Arms Race or something, I'd always be like, man, this guy's just a fantastic singer. Like, really great band. The songwriting was, like, stellar. But it's never my thing, so I never delved any deeper into, like, I've never, same as Stu, I have never listened to a Fall Out Boy album up to this point. So, like I said, they wouldn't be first for me to go to. But listening to their like early stuff and then listening to the later stuff, there is a huge void of music in between that. Like, it's a really big difference from like the early, emo days, 2003, just about to, emo was like just about to like take over the world basically for a couple of years. And then you listen to them now, and like Stu was saying, as musicians, they're fantastic. They're very diverse. They play a lot of different stuff. So it was interesting to finally, apart from the hits, delve in and go, oh, actually, there's loads of more interesting layers to this band, which is good. Although I will say, out of everything I listened to, I know it's not technically their first album, because the first one, Evening Out with Your Girlfriend, technically they don't, even though it's an album, it wasn't an official album at the time, blah, blah, blah. So let's say Take This to Your Grave is their first album.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
but,
that I like that portion of their sound the most out of everything I listen to. Like, I think the new stuff's good, but like, I really like that early emo stuff where it felt very DIY. All the songs just had no, there was nothing from labels, anything. It was just these dudes and these tiny little small hometown shows just going absolutely fucking mental on stage. And I loved that's when I really, really liked emo. Later on, it would obviously become more commercialized, like every type of music. But yeah, they're interesting. But yeah, sorry, I'm digressing. But no, apart from the hits, I have never delved in any further.
Yeah. So I was just about to say, so for argument's sake, let's just say Take This to Your Grave was their first album. I did hear that they don't consider the one before that as an album, and they don't like talking about it, but I never found out why. So that would be interesting to look into at some point.
I think it was I was reading about it. It was made for a really small label at the time, and I don't think they were ever sort of happy with it.
Okay.
And the way it was distributed and stuff. So and plus if you listen to it, it's really not great. It's very his voice. If you listen to Evening Out with Your Girlfriend and Take This to Your Grave, I mean, it's basically like listening to two completely different bands, even though they're not far apart. His voice, the difference between his voice on those two is worlds apart.
Yeah.
So it says 2003, but I actually think it was earlier than that.
It probably was early.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was a couple of years before, maybe 2001. So
yeah, but so I never ever would have considered Fall Out Boy as pop punk, but I heard a lot of people calling them pop punk, even for the music after Take This to Your Grave, and there's no way I consider their more recent stuff pop punk. But those first two, the first one and album Zero, I don't know what to call it now after we've just chosen. I would say, like, so you told me about Take This to Your Grave, and you were like, I'm really enjoying this, so I put it on, and I thought, this is pop punk. Like, this could easily be a Bowling for Soup album or Newfound Glory, so like very very similar sounds. And then when I discovered Evening Out with Your Girlfriend, I listened to that and I was like, this is even different type of pop punk. Like, it could have been sort of Yellow Cardy, kind of Less Than Jake sounding.
Yeah.
Which blew me away. I was so surprised.
Yeah,
after hearing them.
I like that early version. I like that version of emo / pop punk more than the stuff what it's become now.
Yeah.
I really,
like
really don't like what it's become now. I can't stand it. It's like fingers on a chalkboard for me. I can't take it for longer than 10 seconds. I'm like, fuck no. Get it off. Get to any pop music, anything. I can listen to anything, but I don't know why pop punk really grates on me. I don't know why. Modern stuff, and some of the old stuff as well. But yeah, I when I messaged you, I could not believe how much I fucking loved Take This to Your Grave, and I was like, why was I not listening? In 2003, I was listening to Used, My Chem, all the like early emo stuff, like, and all the screamo stuff like Aid and all that. I was like, this just would have slid into my CD collection perfectly, but I just didn't know about them until Under the Cork Tree came out. So,
so there was a reason for that. They, I think they were signed to like two different labels at the same time. One was something about ramen. I've got to write it down here.
Oh, it was that
Fueled by Ramen.
Fueled by Ramen.
That was it.
And
they
also
were like a little hardcore label. They're a hardcore label or an emo label.
Pop punk label.
Yeah, that was it.
And they were also signed to Island Records, and they decided to put out Take This to Your Grave through. Island were a bit bigger as well, but they put Take This to Your Grave
out. Huge, massive record label.
Yeah,
got signed to Island. That's a major label, man.
Yeah, but they chose to put out, and we can go on to, I can't remember his name now. I've been the bassist, Pete Wentz.
Pete Wentz.
Pete Wentz.
We can go on to him a little bit from this, actually, because he is very interesting. But yeah, they chose to put that album out, Take This to Your Grave, through Fueled by Ramen, because they were better and they knew what they were doing more with that kind of band. And they got them on the Warped tour and everything. And once they sort of built themselves up a little bit, then they put From Under the Cork Tree out through Island. And that's why most people, the first album they would have known is From Under the Cork Tree.
Nice. You just said Warped Tour, right?
Yeah.
Go and look, right, at any Warped Tour lineup from about 2002 to like 2006. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, like, every single good band was like on the Warped Tour between those like 5 or 6 years. It was like, I can't believe we never got that here, but to go and see Warped Tour in America must have been like just fucking unreal, like amazing.
Was it just tour in different states? Was it Warped Tour?
Yeah, it was. So imagine like if Download was like a touring thing, basically. So it was like a festival lineup, but they'd all go. America's huge, so they'd be in Illinois, and then they'd play like 2 places in Illinois, and then they go to the next state. And but they were playing fucking car parks. They weren't venues. They were literally a car park with 2 stages. Go. That was it. Like, they were so DIY. They looked so fucking cool. Like, amazing. I just would have loved to have gone.
I think the closest we got to that was Slam Dunk, I suppose, which did start well. But slowly. Is in decline. But who might comment?
But yeah, we've had things like Bloodstock. I don't know how many. Not Bloodstock. What am I talking about?
Bloodstock?
I know, Bloodstock. Oh, never mind. We've had things. No, we haven't. Did we ever have like the Family Value? What are you doing?
My camera was
Oh,
focusing weird.
I thought you were shutting me out or something.
No.
You're messing up. Don't talk to me anymore.
No, it's going weird.
Me and Si are just going to carry on. We're just going to block you out there.
Yeah, block him out. Block him out, Stu.
Ozfest is what I was trying to think of, because that was one that went around, but I don't know if we got more than one over here usually.
Just America. It's because it's so big. Like, they wanted to make money off of these, so they were just like, you do one show, you'll make money, but if you tour it and you get the bands to, it's kind of crazy. They actually convinced some of these bands to go on like 6-month tours with like, God knows the chaos backstage. It was a touring festival. Do you imagine in the mid 2000s? It must have been absolutely insane. Yeah.
And it's another one like that is Family Values. A lot of people probably would have heard of. Was that organised by Korn? Was that what Korn's own one?
Korn's like deal. I think it was Korn and Biscuit that started it.
Yeah.
But you look back on some of those lineups and you're just like, that's ridiculous. That is too much. Can't take it. America get all the good tours though.
They do.
We were talking about that earlier on WhatsApp. They get all the good tours.
Yeah, ridiculous lineups.
Yeah,
it'll be Clash Central, surely.
Their festivals, they don't look great, but they have great lineups.
Yeah, if they even go ahead, they've had some terrible festivals. Anyway, Pete Wentz. What was it? Wentz. Wentz.
From whence you came.
TZ, isn't it? Pete Wentz. Pete Wentz home and had a cry. No. Oh dear. That was terrible.
Oh my God.
What a ridiculous life this guy has had, and just everything that he does. So did you know that a lot of them started as like hardcore bands? They were, I don't remember where they were from, but there was a big hardcore place in America. I don't know if you know at all, Simon, from general
I think wasn't
knowledge.
It Chicago?
Could have been.
It was somewhere. Yeah, I mean, the early, so from like 2000 to 2002, hardcore was like really big. I remember I watched some clips of Pete Wentz. He was the singer.
Yeah.
Of a hardcore band. And I was like, oh man, screaming's pretty good actually. Like, I was like, shit, these guys look good. But it was all that like post hardcore. It was all like, dislocated chords and weird fucking timings, and then it was all that like really weird hard, not like hardcore, not like fucking Biohazard or something. It was
Okay.
all that weird shit, but
Yeah.
which weirdly ended up transitioning into like screamo stuff, where it was like, you know, really close to emo. Like you just have to put screaming in Fall Out Boy, and they're pretty much a screamo band. Like it's easy. The early stuff. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was going to say they started as a hardcore band. And he basically decided he wanted to be famous, and he was like, "This is the band that's going to make me famous," and he just put everything into it. And he's a bassist. He's a front man, basically, and he does everything and does all like. But he's a bassist.
I
don't
think
really know
he's
where I
the
was going
main
with that.
composer, isn't he?
Yeah, he writes the lyrics, and the other guy sings and writes the songs, which is weird.
Yeah, so Pete's like the main composer because he does composition work for movie and TV and this, that, and the other, and then he's normally fed the lyrics from Patrick, and then he uses the lyrics to write his compositions around, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I mean, he was a celebrity in his own right for a little while, from being the bassist of Fall Out Boy, and
oh my god, he was fucking
the emo poster
everywhere
child,
as
wasn't he?
well. Like,
yeah,
I don't think anyone realizes how annoying this band were for like 4 or 5 years, man. Like every single article in every magazine was just women just fucking fingering themselves over Pete Wentz. That's all you heard. You went to the pub, Pete Wentz, posters, Pete Wentz. Who's on the TV? Pete Wentz. It was really annoying for a few years. I couldn't stand him for a few years.
Yeah.
the
I think I was
eyeliner.
in the same boat.
Yeah.
What was that, you? Sorry.
I was just saying it's the eyeliner. Maybe we need to don the eyeliner.
Yeah.
I'd done the guideliner phase, man. That was a good. I liked it.
Did you?
It's good stuff. Yeah, 100%.
I think I would have probably.
2003
Maybe do it now.
to 5, I was definitely wearing guyliner, 100%.
Yeah.
Swept over hair,
Swept over
Guyliner.
Nice.
all the way.
But yeah,
I was
so like
busy learning my timetable. Sorry.
times table. Did you
Jesus.
were you were you following on what we were actually talking about when we were talking about the Family Values tour earlier? And you know, I don't know if this is trying to be too funny or whether it's actually just being mean.
We're talking about we're 25. What are
convoluted.
you going on? What are you going on about? We're all 25 here. I don't understand what you guys are saying.
But yeah, sorry. Like I was saying, he was just everywhere. Like I forgot how everywhere he was. And I don't know what he's doing now. Why he's just dropped off. But like, yeah, he basically. I think there was a point where a lot of the other members of the band weren't that interested in Fall Out Boy, and he was like, "No, this is the thing that's going to make me famous. I'm going to become famous from this."
Fair play to
I
him.
mean, I think from listening to interviews and stuff, he ended up suffering from that massively, just like the sheer fame that he had.
Really?
Yeah, he ended up really struggling. And whereas the other guys, Patrick especially, I mean, I know they all say, but he claimed that he didn't want any of that. He was just in it for the music.
Yeah.
So I think they were all just, they just skyrocketed to fame, and none of them knew how to really deal with it. But yeah, Pete Wentz managed to go for a mad ride, really. I mean, bagging Kim Kardashian as well. Just a mad coupling.
Didn't he marry Ashley Simpson as well?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
sure
so.
he did.
Yeah.
I mean, for a guy, he wanted to be famous. He did it, didn't he? Jesus.
Yeah.
Man was everywhere.
Yeah. But I mean, I kind of forgot all about this. Like I said, I was actually watching a live video of theirs. I think it was last night. Watching 2017's Rock in Rio. It was dark. I assumed they were headlining, but they were actually third down from the top. They still had an hour, and it was still really good. And I knew every song, and I really enjoyed every song. But it was just funny, like, and before I say this, I don't mean this in any bad way about any of them. I'm not trying to put any of them down. but it was just
I know what you're gonna say.
it was just funny how like he was the bassist and he was the front man, and like I just the more I think about it, the weirder it is because it's just
Also,
so,
yeah, he is not a good-looking guy, and they are not a good-looking band
I-
in general. I don't understand why all the women loved him. He is
Yeah.
not a good-looking man.
well he had
at all.
he had the charisma as well.
Well, you can say that for a lot of rock
Yeah.
stars. A lot of them are like they're not good-looking, but
Yeah,
they've got confidence and they're in a band. There you
Yeah.
go. And he's got a bit of guy liner on.
yeah,
And it was the mid-2000s. You're done. You're in. Sweet.
yeah.
That's it. You can be an absolute troll, but as long as you can shred on a bass,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Exactly.
He's a
you're going to be
bassist.
strumming on and off stage. So
You
But
always
yeah.
see those memes, don't you, when it's like the people holding up the people and it's like singer, guitarist, and then at the end, bassist, right at the bottom, under the water, drowning. That's always the way. So
Yeah.
it's quite weird that a bassist would be the most famous one out of a band, isn't it? That's quite strange.
Yeah, and it's like I think, like you said, the other guys, they were just like, yeah, you carry on, you be like the face of the band, the main person. When I was watching it, like I said, the rhythm guitarist, and obviously the drummer wouldn't go anywhere, but the rhythm guitarist was just stood at his pedal, at his microphone, didn't move. You would expect Patrick to be going up to the front of the stage and back again and going to the crowd. But like the fact that the bassist was as well, you know, you would imagine them all to be doing it, not just the one person who wants to be more facing everybody, more. I can't think of the right word.
I get what you mean, though. Yeah.
But they're cool with it, you know, and that's fine. But towards the end, I think, oh no, there was a couple of bits. Like he went over to the rhythm guitarist and he was playing with him, and it's like the rhythm guitarist just accepted it. It's like, all right, yeah, you're the guy. You come to me, I'll play with you. And then he was messing around with the guitar after, and I was like, you're the bassist. It's okay for the singer to do that normally. You're the bassist. And at the end,
Yeah.
he grabbed the microphone and ran to the crowd. I didn't have his bass on, and I was like, his bass is still playing. I can still hear bass. But he hasn't got a bass with him. Like, what's going on? So I rewound it a couple of times. And he got a tech to come from backstage to play his instrument so he could go and sing in the crowd.
Wow.
You're a bassist. But,
Yeah,
but
it's very.
like-
That's odd.
yeah, like I said, it's absolutely fine. Nobody else is doing it. And that's what's odd about it. Just because it's such a thing that nobody else is doing. Is nothing
I'll give
but
him that. He did stand out,
yeah.
which is obviously means because everyone knows. If you see a picture of him, you go, I fucking know that. I know that guy. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that him and Patrick, I know. The other two, I could be standing next to in Asda and not have a fucking clue who they are.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true.
I'd be like, oh, what? No idea. No idea at all.
But yeah, a couple of times it just looked like he was in the wrong band. He was like trying to jump around and spin around. He should be in one of those bands where they're all doing it, doing spin kicks on stage, throwing their guitars over your shoulders. It was like, he's the only one doing it. Nobody else is.
Yeah.
It just looks a bit odd.
If you watch the early videos, they are all going a bit more mental.
Okay.
And it definitely calmed down. If you watch the videos from like the Take This to Your Grave album, they are all going pretty fucking mental. But
Right.
you can only do that in like, small little clubs where everyone else is going mental. You can't have like a giant stage and you're all fucking flipping out. Like it just wouldn't look right. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. But yes, that was my. It's not really beef with Pete Wentz, but he's a genius.
Oh, beef.
He knows. He's a
Let-
genius.
You
He
don't
knows
like
what
beef.
he's doing.
You best watch out this year.
Let's watch out the boy.
Yeah, like I said, he's a genius. He knows what he's doing. It's odd and weird. I had the word in my head earlier. I can't think of the right word. But it's working. It's working for them.
Definitely. Yeah, when I went onto their Spotify, I was like, 25 million monthly listeners. Jesus, fair play,
ridiculous.
boys. Fair play. So they've got a song that's got over 1 billion listens as well. I was like, okay, I don't think it's a very good song, but don't know why it's their most popular one. I think the other songs are much better. But,
What song was it? Can we remember?
I thought it was annoying, if I'm being honest. I thought the other songs in the top were like banger, banger, banger. That's a banger.
It is Centuries.
Yeah, I think Centuries is their most famous song by far.
That's crazy to me. I mean, I missed out on
madness.
When was that? 2015. I was paying no attention at all. So, and there were a couple of others actually when I listened to, and I went, "Oh, I know that song. That's a sick. My songs know what you did in the dark, light 'em up." I did not realise that was Fall Out Boy because I listened to it and I went, "That's a tune. I know this song." I swear, I was like, "I've heard this song. I thought this was a good song when I heard it first of all." No idea it was Fall Out Boy at all.
Yeah.
Should have known from the voice, but it just never. Whenever I heard it, I was just like, "Oh, it's a good song," but I never clicked that it was Fall Out Boy. I know he's got a very distinctive voice, but I just didn't put two and two together in my head.
Well, I'm sure that was like the first song they released after the hiatus. Like, 'cause they went away for a while, and then they released that one song, and it's like completely different to like whatever they've done previously.
Yeah.
And even in like the video, none of them are in the video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just so dissimilar to what they've done previously. It was, but then if you listen to that in comparison to the new stuff, they've obviously gone away and thought about what they want to sound like, and you know.
Yeah, which one's
here
that?
we are. This
Centuries.
is the new way we're going to be. No, sorry, that was.
No, there's two new.
My songs know what you did in the dark.
Okay.
Which is off.
Go on, sorry, Stu.
I'm just trying to think what album that is actually off.
It's off of Save Rock and Roll 2013.
2013, yeah.
I was going to say that I personally think that all of the best bands evolve and change musically. You can say some bands, like I always use Iron Maiden as a good example of this. You listen to an old Iron Maiden song and a new Iron Maiden song, they're not vastly different, although they have changed little pieces here and there. Some bands can do that, but I feel like my favourite bands always are. You listen to the first album and the newest album, and they're fucking nothing alike. I love that when bands evolve and change and try new stuff, and you know, I love, and that's what is one of the things that is so cool about this band is they're not afraid to experiment and check. They're like, you know, we want to make this now. We want to make basically a pop album now. Go for it. Oh, we want to make a, you know, pop punk album. Go for it. Just do whatever. I like that bands, and even bands that are on major labels, and you know, they obviously have some say in what they make, but they still manage to make kind of what they want to, I think. So yeah, I like that about this band a lot. Definitely respect any musician for that. Very, very cool.
Yeah, before I listened to them for this episode, I would have said that the songs from Under the Cork Tree and the latest albums were exactly the same. I didn't think they had changed very much at all. But I think that's something you pick up through time, sort of you tuning your ear into their sound a bit.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, going off changing the sound and whatnot, I was listening to an interview with Patrick and Pete, and Patrick was saying that basically every album he just kind of pretended that it was going to be his last, that he'll ever have the funding of a big record label. So every time he'd use that money that they were given to do everything they could. So if the newest album's a really good example, he thought, am I ever going to have this funding to get a full orchestra on our album ever again? Maybe not. So here we go. So they got a full orchestra, and you listen to some of the songs with the orchestra on. They're really incredible. Listen to on a good set of speakers or a good set of headphones. It sounds great. I did have some examples of which songs were so good. I Am My Own Muse off the newest album. Almost sounds like a Bond theme. What a Time to Be Alive sounds like Earth, Wind and Fire. and Love from the Other Side is just an absolute bop. Like, it's ridiculous how much thought's gone into all the different aspects of the song and how different each song sounds, but they're all off the same album. So
Awesome.
going back to what Si said, how they've been so different, how they can be so different in one album, and it just seems to completely hit. Like, it doesn't miss the mark in the slightest. Obviously, just look at the numbers on Spotify, see what numbers they're doing. They just seem to be killing it.
Definitely. Which is why they're a great headliner for Download, because they're going to draw in a lot of people, a lot like Bring Me the Horizon did last year. They're going to draw in a lot of new people that are going to probably really enjoy themselves and are probably going to come back again, which is exactly what we want for the festival. So,
Yeah.
and I bet they can't wait for, you know, Slipknot, System of a Down, and Def Leppard next year. So, you know.
Don't do it. If you're listening, please don't do it.
Yeah, I've been saying recently that I don't think it's going to be very busy at Download this year. I think I've been saying it's going to be quieter than 2022, and 2022 was quiet. But now realizing just how big Fall Out Boy are, just how good they are, yeah, I could be quite wrong with that. It could be quite busy.
See, I'm really quite torn. I think if you look at how many new people went last year due to it selling out, you'd expect that's going to bring some new crowd this coming year. And I think festival culture as a whole seems to have exploded. Like, you look at many a festival now, and a lot of them are putting posts out saying, like, you know, last few tickets selling out, which is a real surprise. I think Reading and Leeds sold out a day already, and Reading and Leeds isn't until August, if I'm right. So I think the culture around it's changed a lot, and it's just a lot of younger people, you know, wanting to go to festivals, which is great, because that's the only way that Download's going to survive and live on. You know, if all of us just go and that's it, we all die out eventually, the festival's going to die out as well. So
True. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't predict busyness, but I still think it's going to be quite a busy year. I think it's got big enough headliners, and I think the undercard is like insane. So I still think it's going to be. I think it's going to be. I don't understand why 2022 wasn't busy. That was a fucking great lineup, but
yeah.
But I still think this will be busy. I don't think it will sell out. If it sells out, it won't be a full sellout like last year. I don't think Download. I mean, I just think it was very lucky last year. I think we were lucky. Plus, Bring Me are they fit in very well at Download, and they probably would have attracted other people as well. Where I think that will happen with Fall Out Boy, but they're not as tailored to Download, so I feel like they won't draw as many people to Download as Bring Me the Horizon would. But then you forget the monster that is Metallica, which is every time they fucking play it sells out, which just tells you how popular Metallica are. So yeah, won't be a sellout, but I still think it will be quite a busy year. Like we've been talking about the whole time, it's going to be a very different year. I don't think it's going to feel like any other Download, which will be interesting for people like us that go regularly, because like you, Adam, when you can't remember a year, you might be able to pick this one out because it will be so vastly different to the last 3 or 4. So yeah, I'm all for it, but yeah, I don't think it will sell out, but it will be popular.
Mm-hmm. I think in looking at last year as well, obviously Metallica, which is obviously a big pull. Then with Bring Me the Horizon, look at any of their tour they've done in recent years, it sells out instantly on their tours. And if you think, people think, I really need to see Bring Me the Horizon, I need to get a Saturday. Was it Saturday they played?
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I need to get a Saturday ticket. Saturday ticket sell out.
Friday.
I really need to see them. Okay, I need to get a general camping ticket. General camping sells out, so on and so on. So I think that's what led to it selling out, really. But I don't think this year we've got that one band that's going to make people do that. So there's going to be the availability for people. I don't even think day tickets will end up selling out. I don't think they're going to sell out a day ticket for Queens of the Stone Age. They're not going to sell out for Fall Out Boy. I don't think they're going to sell out for Avenged. I forgot who they were. Avenged Sevenfold.
But they might sell out for Limp Bizkit.
Hell's
Yeah. That's a good point. But
no, but
so I think
you.
it'll be
I feel
quiet.
you, yeah.
But
I'm with Stu. I think it'll be popular, but I don't think anything's gonna sell out. You know, you're not gonna go there and be like, oh, there's no one here. There's still gonna be 60,000 people there, so it's not like it's gonna be us lot in a field. But it will definitely feel not as busy as last year. Definitely.
Well, I think in comparison to however much it sells out, compared to last year, it's gonna feel. I'm sure a lot of people come away saying it was dead, but that's only because they're comparing it to last year.
True.
In reality, it's going to be, they're going to sell a lot of tickets, but I think it's going to be comfortable more than anything.
Yeah, I think so too now. I'm coming around a bit.
I've just seen so many, like even today I had a comment on YouTube on my download video, people just saying worst lineup ever. Other people were like, this is a disgrace. Download should be ashamed of themselves. There's like so much negativity towards because people are concentrating on the main headliners, not on the actually really quite metal undercard. But they're just seeing the top names and going, oh fuck, no way. So this is probably, it's the most negative reaction to a download lineup I've seen in quite a while. So that will probably have a lot of knock-on effect as well, because one friend won't go, and then that friend won't go because that friend's not going, and it will definitely have knock-on effects like that, which is going to dent even more less people going. So, yeah, the negative comments really are not helping download sell tickets. They must be like,
no,
oh,
that's a good point.
Shit, yeah, but that's just what I've been seeing.
Yeah, but I mean,
there's been a lot of people. Sorry, just a lot of people selling tickets on Facebook and this, that, and the other. But in my eyes, that's just, if people aren't going to go and be positive, if they're going to go and just complain about the lineup, then whatever. Let people who want to go just enjoy themselves, and there'll be plenty of people doing that. So leave us to it.
You don't want these gatekeepers, do you, sitting at their tents all day complaining about the bands and then only going in for one? Do you know what I mean?
I probably wasn't complaining about any of the bands. I was just.
I know.
Too
unaware
lazy.
that they were there.
Too lazy. I don't want to go. What year was that? 2014. I'm going to look at that later, and I'm going to let you know how many bands I went to see.
I reckon it's going to be quite a few, because I looked at the lineup. I was like, actually, that's a pretty good lineup. You know, like there's some good stuff on there.
I don't think it will. I think I was probably at the tent quite. Oh, hang on, I don't know. I don't remember. We'll find out.
Has there ever been a year? I know we're just going off of Fall Out Boy completely, but has there ever been a year when you've seen less than 5 bands?
Yeah, almost certainly.
What?
There was probably 2 or 3 years where I saw 4 or 5 bands.
Over 3 days.
Yeah. Well, they changed the walk to the arena to a really long walk. And I didn't really want to go. Like, no, you'd be getting ready to go. And you'd be like, oh, no, I'm too late. If I walk now, I still won't see them. So let's just have another beer at the camp. And I'll catch the next one I want to see. And then the same happens again.
So in contrast to that, have you ever had a year where... Yeah. I was wondering, in contrast to that, have you ever had a year where you've been in from the very start till the very end, or have you always...
Yes.
Dipped off? Yeah.
Well, it's been like that for the last few, hasn't it, really? For you, Ad, you've pretty much been... Well, you've come back probably for a bit, but then you've pretty much gone straight back in, haven't you? You've really been...
Yeah.
You've been about the last few years even more than I have. I'm always like, where's Adam gone? He's gone here. Where is he? No, can't even have a conversation with you because you're too busy going to see the bands. So you've done like a complete 180 these days.
Yeah. But yes, before we've been doing this, and I've been given a slap on the wrist for my old ways. I specifically remember 2005. Trivium opened the main stage, and I was just sat there waiting. I don't think so. once they changed the layout and it was a long walk, the amount of times I remember, like, waking up and people were going to get into the queue to get into the arena. I'm like, why bother? I don't want to walk that far to go to the arena. So I don't think I've been to the arena as early as I have been at least the last couple of years. It's usually, there's no way I would have gone in the AM.
To be fair, though, I think you're right. When it was in the infield and the camping was so close, it really literally did feel like I could nip back in between bands and not miss a fucking note.
Yeah.
Whereas when they changed it and you were like, it's like a fucking 40-minute walk to like get wherever.
Yeah.
It really did make you feel like I'm really going to want to have to see these bands. Whereas before it was just like, I'm just going to go to the arena because it's so close. Like, I think it did make a real difference to people that people that saw the two. Because like you could sit at your tent and hear the main stage as if you were sitting at the main stage. Like that's how close you were to it. And when they changed it, you were like, sounds like it's about fucking 10 miles away. Can't even hear anything. So I think that made a difference back in the day. It did feel like you could just nip back and forth. Where now, if you're going into the arena, you're going into the arena. Like,
yeah,
you're not coming back for a while. So, yeah.
No. But let's go back to Fall Out Boy a little bit. Sorry, I could stick.
Where were we?
We could talk. Yeah, we went off.
I feel like I'm a bad influence on these episodes. I do apologise.
It's fine.
He's adding tangents to the tangents we're already going on. This is not good.
I'm just thinking of the runtime. It looks better.
It's just gonna go and go and go.
That's fine. You won't find Alexander complaining. He'd take a 4-hour episode every week.
We might get there.
I'm just
today.
thinking of everyone's views. Yeah.
We might get there today. You never know.
Yeah. But yeah, so we were talking earlier about how big they're getting and how mainstream, and I think with every single album they did, they got a little bit more mainstream. They sort of went from pop punk, which is nowhere near mainstream usually, and just sort of flipped it and went, right, well, we're going to be in the charts and we're going to be with all these celebrities and Sarah still. Oh, fuck's sake, I fucked it up. I was going to say Sarah Silverstead, Playmate of the Year, like they say in basketball, but I can't do alliteration because I got stupid big teeth. But yeah, kind of what it feels like with basketball. No, that's about. Yeah, they have got more and more mainstream and just bigger, more famous with every single album, which can't be said by many bands, I doubt. But as they were going, I think after the hiatus, they actually started working with some really big producers who have done a lot of the big pop music or pop videos or songs or whatever. So they knew they knew what they were doing.
I saw that they'd like someone pointed out in the video I was watching, like their original writing credits was like 2 people, and their writing credits got up to like 8 people for writing credits, like on certain songs. So because they started working with, they were playing the game. They were like, look, we're a huge band now. Let's work with some huge writers and producers that make hits that are sort of the zone that we're in. So it kind of made perfect sense really for them. And they're quite even if it's the early stuff, it has the pop punk, I would say more emo to begin with, but you can hear the pop influence, and he's got such a great soulful voice.
Yeah.
He could and I know that he done a couple of solo albums. I don't know what they sound like.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
During that hiatus. But he could just be a pop singer, he could write some fucking Phil Collins shit and just do that. He's got such a great, amazing, soulful voice. So I think they always had that little bit of pop element, and then when they got bigger and bigger, they just dialed into that more, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the first times I even heard Patrick Stump, previous to even knowing that he was part of Fall Out Boy, was a cover of, I want to say, a Chris Brown song. It's like a proper, just as if he'd recorded it on his phone or whatnot. But back in the day with like Sony Ericssons and everything, Bluetoothing songs and that was one of the first instances. It was written as Fall Out Boy, but it was literally just Patrick Stump and a guitar.
Oh, nice.
I really wish I could remember what the song is. But
Yeah.
there was that and Gym Class Heroes.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember the song that he did with them? Cupid's
No, I
Chokehold,
remember
was
that.
it?
Oh God, I haven't heard
Yeah.
of Gym Class Heroes in a while. That's brought me back. That has.
That-
Wow.
Yeah, so Cupid's Chokehold, Gym Class Heroes. There's a sample from, I can't think what the band is, but it's there's a sample. Like, take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got.
It's,
Da, 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 da.
I was just about to say they butchered one of the greatest bands of all time, which is Supertramp.
Supertramp. That's it. So that sample, instead of taking the sample, they got Patrick Stump to sing on that song. So again, that was a first introduction to Fall Out
To
Boy
them.
instead of directly to themselves. Yeah.
Not
Which
even
is bizarre.
Fallout Boy.
No. Sorry.
Yeah.
Went on a tangent again.
It's all right. No, I know, and as
Yeah.
well, like
Pop music.
I heard that like Taylor Swift considers Fall Out Boy to be one of her biggest influences.
Really? I didn't know that.
100%. Like, apparently, all she does is just bang on about how good Fall Out Boy are all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and she said that like they're writing so great, their songs are so great. They've done song with her as well, haven't they? I think they've done a couple of tracks with her and some performances and stuff. But yeah, literally Taylor Swift, one of the biggest fucking like pop icons on the planet, absolutely bums Fall Out Boy. So I think that pretty much says all you need to say about their sort of power within the pop world, which is pretty insane.
And I think the only way to top that is to, look at the feature that they got on Save Rock and Roll, Elton John.
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Try and think
Oh, actually,
how what's a bigger name than Taylor Swift? And there you go, Elton John.
Yeah. Do you know what I forgot to say? We were talking about Pete Wentz, right? You guys have seen it, right?
See what?
You know what I'm
Go
talking
on.
about. You've seen it, right?
No.
You've seen it because I've seen it.
I seem to be getting flashbacks.
I think we've all
to be
seen
honest.
I could tell by Stu's face he's seen it.
I don't,
I'm getting flashbacks. I
I'm getting
I
flashbacks
don't-
as
forgot
well.
previous to you saying this, but yeah, I
don't
remember now.
think
But
I have.
if you're a Fall Out Boy fan, you already know what I'm talking about. But Adam, you haven't seen it.
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Should I just not tell him what that is, or should I actually tell him? 'Cause
It's
he's
like a
gonna be
baby's
so
arm.
confused by that. So okay, I will explain it because that's a bit horrible. Basically, back in the day, before leaked photos were like a real big deal, you'd get a few leaked photos and you'd be like, "This is fucking wild! Like, what on earth is happening?" And after that, they were releasing them themselves because it was an easy thing to make money. But yeah, some
Yeah.
naked pictures of Pete Wentz got leaked back in the day, and you saw Peen. You saw Peen. It was.
No, I never saw them.
Quite distressing, but I was going to say we've
Yeah.
all seen it, but
No.
you're going to have to look now. You do know
I
that,
don't.
right?
I don't really
Go
want
off
to.
the family Wi-Fi and have a look.
I must say, when you look, you'll get more than you bargained for anyway.
Really?
Oh, this is good. This is good.
I just clicked on a knob. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's good. Sorry, I
Yeah,
was
no.
supposed to bring that up when we were talking specifically about Pete Wentz, but I looked at my notes. I was like, oh my god, I can't not mention that.
Have you seen the dude's dick?
I'm gonna quick look at my notes. See if anything I've
I
forgotten.
bet you are. Yeah, I bet you'll be looking at my notes.
Ooh. Where are my notes? Oh, you put me off now.
Everyone get their
Bastards.
phones out. Oh, hello, Pete.
Right.
Have you got an incognito?
No.
I just realised as well that I probably won't be watching all of Fall Out Boy because Fear Factory will most likely be on at the same time. So I'll be watching
Yes.
Fear Factory and then whatever's left of Fall Out Boy, I would have thought.
Yeah.
So hopefully I don't miss too many big tunes. Hopefully they save the tunes for when when Fear Factory finish.
Well, should we
yeah.
go through the set list and I'll break the bad news?
Pretty bad news.
It's good. They're all going to be
Yeah.
up top, aren't they? All the hits are up top.
So the starting with Sugar We're Going Down, then it's Grand Theft Auto, and then it's...
Yeah.
So it's extensive, so we'll really quickly flick through.
Yeah. Do you know how many there are before we...
29?
29.
29. Well, to be fair, they haven't got the longest songs.
No, I was
so-
about to say that. Then
Yeah,
I'm like,
they're not like fucking 8-minute songs, so that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And do you know where
Shall
that
I
was?
go through?
Do you know where that
Go
was
on, sorry.
from? Because it could be a different set list to this. Just a disclaimer, I guess. We haven't.
Well, it's
got-
just the EU UK tour that they did throughout 2023. So
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
suppose when they're headlining their own show, they can stipulate how long they want to play, what time they want to
Yeah.
come on in.
Well, that was
all
going to be
that
one of
kind
my
business. So
questions to the both of you. Like headliners have had in the past 2.5, 3 hours, and I was wondering if you think Fall Out Boy and Queens of the Stone Age, possibly even Avenged Sevenfold, will have the same amount of time, or maybe they'll give them a little bit less time, and then other people underneath can have more time, or maybe even another band or so. Because I can't imagine with new headliners, I can't imagine them having more than about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
yeah, I mean, if you look at the bands underneath, like Queens of the Stone Age, you got Royal Blood. Fall Out Boy, you got Offspring. Avenged Sevenfold, you got Limp Bizkit. Short of Royal Blood, Offspring and Limp Bizkit, I'm sure they've got enough to fill in the space beforehand. But
Yeah,
you can't imagine them giving Avenged Sevenfold a shorter set list, because it's Avenged Sevenfold. But if Limp Bizkit are playing prior, to be fair, the run up to Avenged in general, Berlin for Soup, Sum 41, Limp Bizkit, they've all got substantial set lists. So I don't know. I can't imagine
still
how
think
long they'll play.
They'll all get, as a standard headline, the best part of 2 hours.
yeah,
And I'm not sure who would go over that. Obviously, Avenged and Queens probably have longer songs than Fall Out Boy do. So Fall Out Boy will probably be able to cram more songs into a short space of time. Where
yeah,
the other two, you probably need a little bit more headroom because their songs are probably more likely to go over time, depending on shit.
yeah. Cool. That's something I thought earlier.
It's a good point.
I mean,
Yeah.
you do watch some headliners and you think it definitely feels like 6 hours, but hopefully that doesn't
Yeah.
happen this year anyway.
It's true. But then you watch some and you're like,
Yeah.
last song?
Where did that go?
I've been here for about 10 minutes. This is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Bring Me was like that last year.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just bang, 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 bang. And you're like, oh my God, this is going too quickly. Slow it down. Just slow it down. Play all the songs half speed or something.
Okay, shall I
Yeah,
go
go
through the
for it.
set list, but
Sorry.
maybe just pick out standout songs rather than doing the whole, because I'm not going to sit here and read out 29 songs.
You
So
are.
the starting
That's what we're
with-
paying you for. That's what we're paying you for
Paying me.
29 songs. No, do whatever you want.
Right, so they're opening with Love from the Other Side, which is from the newest album anyway. So Much
Yeah.
for Stardust, Love from the Other Side, Into the Phoenix, and then Into Sugar We're Going Down. So it's going to be like big punching songs. Everyone's going to be jumping. They're not starting slow by any means at all. I mean, I'm saying I'll say the songs that I think are tunes, but after listening to this set list so many times, I struggle to
Most
say
of
which
them
ones aren't
will be,
tunes.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Little Less 16 Candles, Grand Theft Autumn, which is my favourite Fall Out Boy tune. This Ain't a Scene. Fake Out, What a Time to Be Alive. They're actually doing, well, I can only stipulate off what they've done on the previous tour. If you don't want to know, spoilers, if you will,
That's a
you're
good
more
point.
welcome to flick forward. I should have said that beforehand, I suppose. But,
Too late.
yeah. So according to the most recent tour, they are doing some covers as well, which I'm sure everyone's going to go mad for. We've got Don't Stop Believing, which rolls into Last of the Real Ones, Save Rock and Roll, Stardust, Baby Annihilation, and then they're doing a cover of Crazy Train. I say they did on the last tour.
Yeah.
Which, if they're playing Download, I find it hard to believe they're not going to try and bring some heavy metal aspects into the whole stage show anyway.
It's a great song.
Where Did the Party Go? My Songs Know What They Did in the Dark. Thanks for the Murmurs. Centuries. And then they're closing with Saturday, which is obviously from their debut album. So they're taking it all the way back to day one to close out the show.
I would assume from that, it's not really a massive data pool, but they finished with Saturday in the Rock in Rio in 2017 video I watched. So maybe they always finish with that.
Okay.
Possibly because there's a lot of Pete Wentz singing in it, and so he won't let him change it so he can go out into the crowd for the last song.
The beef continues.
it's just funny. He won't.
Man, I swear to God, if we get anywhere near Pete Wentz, oh man, there's going to be
Hold him back. Yeah.
Going down, man, big time.
Hope he hasn't got an erection and turns round quickly. Strike. Oh. That was from a film as well. I'm sure it was. Anyway, yeah, interesting. I think I'm looking forward to it a lot more than I was originally. And I didn't think I would have come around to them a bit more, but like so many, like the first song you said then that's from the latest album, that From the Other Side, was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I knew that song, and I was like, how have I heard this song? I've never listened to the album. I don't know where I've heard the song from. And we were talking about Centuries earlier. I was talking to Kelly last night about it, and like, how did it get so big? I didn't understand how it was their biggest song. Apparently, it was like in America, it's one of their sports shows main songs, something like that.
Ah, okay.
So,
that
like for
sense.
NFL, NHL highlights, they did use that quite frequently. So I think it just made its way into the mainstream over there.
Yeah.
Well, I was convinced that was the song that they used for Big Hero 6, the Disney film, but it turns out it wasn't. And
yeah.
Oh.
it's leading nowhere because I can't remember what that song was called.
No, but they said that they said that on when I watched, and I forgot they did that song, and it's an awesome song, and an awesome film. Love Big Hero 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great film.
Very underrated. I can't remember what it's called now either though. That's really annoying.
I was just going to say that people are going to get their money's worth for that main stage, because I don't like Wargasm and the Hunna, but Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, Baby Metal, Enter Shikari, Offspring, Fall Out Boy. That's pretty damn good. That's really good. That is like
decent run.
Money's worth just on the main stage on that Saturday. So, yeah, really good. I think that if people like Fall Out Boy are going to like probably a lot of the stuff leading up to it. So I think actual Fall Out Boy fans are going to have an absolute blast on the Saturday.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a distinct split, isn't there, between the main and the second. So you're either seeing Fall Out Boy or Pantera. So I think you'll be able to pick the crowd out anyway. Who's going to which one?
Yeah. Well, hopefully they do what they normally do. So Pantera will finish before Fall Out Boy start, but that means then I can watch Pantera, go to Fear Factory, and then catch the end of Fall Out Boy, so I get all three. So fingers crossed that that's how it normally works, but with downloads you just never know. So
no, that's it. You'll be able to puff anyway. The amount of running you'll have to be doing.
Yeah, can't wait. Got the bassist and the racist, then Fear Factory, then Fall Out Boy. Very good.
That's it.
The bassist and the rest.
The bassist and the rest. Although to be fair, I mean, yeah, they Pantera do sound really good. So I'm actually surprised at how good Phil's vocals are and how well Zakk Wylde's playing Dime stuff, because it's fucking ridiculous, but it's actually doing a really good job. So I'm more interested to see them than I would have been. Should we just do final thoughts quickly? I like Fall Out Boy. I think they're very good. I'm excited they're at Download. Like I said, I will catch the end of their set. They're a really, really good band. They got loads of great songs. And yeah, I like them. They're good.
Mm-hmm. I think, again, I'll repeat myself. The only reason I'm looking forward to them so much now is because of how much I've listened to past set lists. It sounds stupid, but the more you listen to a set of songs, the more you're going to enjoy it. You start to learn the words, you start singing along, and I don't think enough can be said about knowing the words to songs and seeing it live. You enjoy it tenfold. If you know the words to a song and you see it live, you sing it word for word, you live in the dream. So, if I can recommend anything to anyone, is just take a look at the lineup.
Buy the CD, read the lyrics in the booklet.
That's it.
Along with the CD.
No, just go on Spotify, scroll up, and then you get all the lyrics. There you go.
I thought you were going to say Stu's recommending everyone go back to CDs, and then you find out like those influencers do, where they try and they're game guys, where they give you these like fake game sites, but it turns out they own the game site, so they make all the money.
Yeah.
Stu's getting everyone to buy CDs, and then you realise, hold on a minute, he owns this online CD.
He owns Fueled by Ramen. What the? But no, listen to your set lists, learn these songs, and you have a blast.
Similar to that, though, what I said earlier, like, just getting accustomed to their sound a bit more makes a big difference. I didn't think their overall sound changed at all in their whole career. From listening to a few songs every now and then, but it clearly has, and I just needed to listen to more. But yeah, for me, in conclusion, I guess, yeah, I really, really like them now. I don't know if I would just decide to stick an album on still. I still really like them. But yeah, I don't know if like in a few months' time I'll go, do you know what? I fancy listening to a Fall Out Boy album. But I probably will enjoy them more whenever I do hear singles now. Or just hear them on the radio or whatever, other people playing them. And I probably will be there for as much of the set as I can be.
Yeah, I'll be there from start to finish, personally. There's no one else clashing that I'm, fighting to see, so I'll be seeing the whole set, that's for sure.
Yeah. Now I finished that, because I didn't want to take it off anymore. We were talking about the acronym names earlier, weren't we? And it was actually a friend of mine who listens to this who pointed it out at the time. So I've got to give him credit for it, because otherwise I'm just stealing his joke in front of his face, like I saw right in his ear. But yeah, it was 2010. It was Akduk, Ratum, and Aero. Oh no, it doesn't work, does it?
Ratum.
Thank you, Uth, for making that joke 14 years ago, so I could repeat it and get the laughs here. I don't know where I'm going with that. Cool. Yes. Shall we bring it to a close here then? Shall we start to round it off, wrap it up?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. Well, that was a great episode. Like I said, I was really looking forward to that. Next episode, we are going to be doing the same thing, but all about Avenged Sevenfold, and I am looking forward to listening to them, because I'm the same with Avenged Sevenfold as I was with Fall Out Boy. I don't know any albums really, so I'm looking forward to listening to them.
There's like 3 or 4 Avenged albums that I absolutely love, so couple that I'm not on, but yeah, there are a few of their albums that I really do think are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and again,
Start to finish.
Say what you will about the headliners this year, they're definitely interesting to talk about. These three headliners, they're all completely different bands, but they're all interesting, but in completely different ways. So there's loads of stuff for us to talk to each other about. So
Yeah.
if nothing else, they're definitely interesting episodes.
Yeah. And one thing that made me think, actually, because like I said, they were from like a very specific place in America, which had the hardcore scene, and I think a lot of big bands came from that scene, or in that area. And it was the same for Queens of the Stone Age when we were talking. Who was in Caius, who were I don't know how big they were at the time. But yeah, I just found it interesting that like all the famous people, or not all of them, but there seems to be a lot of famous people and bands all come from like the same area. As if you see a few of your friends step up to the next level, so you step it up, and then your band gets to the next level, and the people underneath you step it up.
Yeah, it happens quite a lot. I think there's pockets of like everyone talks about, Seattle in the early '90s, about all the grunge stuff blowing up. And then back in the 70s, it was like Detroit and like other places. And then you go like for the hardcore guys, it was like Orange County, California desert, like you were talking about before. But I don't really hear about it much now, like actual little bubbles of places where all these bands come from. And you're like, how the fuck did all these bands come from? Like, and you found out they all like played together, and like there was a gig back in the day that you would have been at, and it had all these like huge bands, one after the other, but they were playing to like 30 people. It is pretty crazy, actually. We should probably delve into that in a later episode. Maybe pick like a scene. Or New York's another one, like all the punk stuff from New York, like the Ramones, Misfits, all that stuff. That all like blew up, and they were all like playing together. Might be an interesting episode, actually, like little pocket universes of bands where they came out of.
Yeah, definitely. And so on that note, come and join our Discord. It's a really cool thing. Really cool thing. Come on,
it's a really cool thing.
It's a really cool thing, man.
Man.
Yeah.
So on that note, actually, then, if anybody has any information that would be handy to help us sort of make a start on that kind of thing, anybody who's researched it a little bit before, come and let us know. Come and join the Discord and talk to us in there and tell us a bit more about it, and tell us what you already know, and then that will help us to dig a little bit deeper, and that would be really cool. We really appreciate it. But if you don't know things about that, come and join the Discord anyway. It's really cool. We have a lot of fun over there. Really, really cool. It's also ran by Stu, pretty much. Stu, wave, say,
that's me.
Hey,
hello,
me.
Hello. Come to the Discord.
Worship me.
Come and have fun.
You're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Yeah, we're not worthy. It's our Lord and Saviour of the Discord. Bow at his feet.
Sorry, I asked you to do
Sorry,
something and then completely cut you off.
I'll just ban you. It's okay.
I don't think you can.
Oh yeah, you are the evil overlord. To be fair, I grovel at your feet.
Yeah.
Shit rolls downhill.
Okay, cool. Yes, join the Discord. Like I said, go and join all the other things we've got. Join Stu's TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and Simon's TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
TikTok's a dirty word for
Simon. TikTok. It doesn't exist, but you can have a good look.
I made one for you, and I've that's what I'm uploading these TikToks for our videos on. It's like,
awesome.
I'm Simon Bond. I like TikTok.
He's using AI to create deep fakes of Simon on
That's all the
TikTok.
videos. It's just, I'm Simon Bond and I like TikTok. The next video is just in another position. I'm Simon Bond. I like TikTok.
Cool. Yes. And you can find all those bits of information that you need to find all those things in the episode description. Go to the episode description. You might have to click on a little thing that says see more. You'll find a link tree in there, and that'll give you links to everything, including our Patreon. We need to say a massive thank you to our legendary Patreons as well. I did say, do you know what I said? I said last episode about people changing their names to something funny. nobody's done it. I know my friend Jacob said he was going to do it. He confirmed with me. He was like, "Did you mean that? Did you be sure? You know, being serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, do it if you want." But he never got around to doing it. But yeah, it would be cool. So next episode, Patreons, change your name to something funny about Avenged Sevenfold. Not necessarily derogatory, just a joke about Avenged Sevenfold, and we'll get either Simon or Stu to read them out and try and make them laugh. I don't know who yet.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll work that out. Cool. But yes, we need to say thank you to them this episode. So thank you so much to James Harrison, Alexander Toon, Dan Jacobs Cross, Dean Delicado, Christopher Hambridge, Henry Richardson, Ben Sacconi, Scott Seeger, Christopher Henderson, and Matthew. You are all absolute legends. Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. Every penny we get goes back into the podcast to make it bigger and better. If you want to join, we have 2 tiers. There's a £5 tier and a £3 tier, just support tiers at the moment. The £3 tier will say a massive thank you to you in the next episode. A £5 tier will say a massive thank you to you in every episode. And you'll get the chance to change your name to something funny to try and make Simon or Stu laugh. I think that'll try and be funny. Try and be funny, try and be good. I've lost it.
Try and be good.
Try.
Also, guys,
I was doing so well.
Try and be good. Okay?
I don't like it when I'm just here talking and the other two are quiet, and it just makes me.
I just staring.
Yeah, I just get like, I don't know, just what's the word? Imposter syndrome. Yeah, I'm like, I'm talking too much. They should be talking too. Help! Anyway, I think that's everything that I need to do. But do you want to give Simon? Do you want to tell? I know I said about. Oh, for fuck's sake, Simon! I know I've said about your YouTube, but do you want to tell everybody what you're doing as well and where they can find you?
Yeah, just quickly, my Monsters of Rock Part 2 video should be out now. That's the only thing I'll have up at this point. Goodbye. I'm not going. Sorry. Just
okay.
Stu, go.
And Stu.
Right. So yeah, I've got the Instagram and TikToks. Releasing a couple of those each week. Mainly being bands I think you should see it download. So I just talk about them briefly and then just give you 3 examples of songs. So if you're thinking you're not sure who to see all day, every day, jump over to TikTok or Instagram and have a flick through.
Nice. And yeah, that's it for this episode. Join us next episode. That's it for this episode. Join us next episode for Avenged Sevenfold, a big deep dive into Avenged Sevenfold. We will also be joined by our resident expert on Avenged Sevenfold, who is Scott Seegers. He's also a patron, resident expert and Patreon, Scott Seeger. He is the biggest fan. Oh, he's also sent me a list of a few things to watch and check out as well before next episode. So I'll send it to you as well, unless he's already sent it to you. Just a couple of live things, I think. But yeah, it sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. But for now, thank you for listening. It's a goodbye from Simon.
Goodbye.
A goodbye from Stu.
Goodbye. Pete Wentz has a massive penis, but he'll catch these hands.
But he'll what? Catch these hands?
He'll catch these hands.
Catch these.
Download beef.
Download beef.
It's not sexual. not catching hands on, you know.
And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.
Toodles.
Did you say toodles?
That's very good.
Toodles.
That's very good.